Good evening, good afternoon, good wherever you are. I hope all of you are doing well. It is Sunday streaming for the week of January 15th. Hope everybody's doing okay. If you can excuse me, I'm kind of getting over a little bit of a cold. I was really seriously under the weather this past weekend. It was really bad. So I'm going to be probably clearing my throat a few times throughout this presentation. Just giving you guys a heads up, as you could tell. Yeah, still kind of got like phlegm in my chest. It's just nasty. It's real nasty. Nobody wants to hear me talk about all that stuff. But yeah, as always, this is Sunday Streaming. If this is your first time joining me for a Sunday Streaming, this is the show in the middle of at the beginning of the week where I kind of connect with you guys. I touch base. I see how everybody's doing. I just shoot the shit, talk about life, comics, experiences, all that good stuff, and yeah. Really, the questions are open to anything. It doesn't have to be necessarily comic book related. It could be music, relationship advice, uh, phew, food, things like that. You know. Hey, Avi, Amir, I see you in the chat. Mr. John Wilson, always a pleasure to have you, sir. I'm hoping I'm able to make it to Boston Comic Con this week. I'm hoping I'm able to, not this week, this year, so I can meet you and Jess in person. I know you both are going out there, so I think it'd be really cool if we could link up and we could take a look at some comics and stuff. So, fingers crossed, trying to see how that goes. Hey, Dwight. All right. First things first, I'm going to do a little bit of plug. Mr. John Wilson, thank you very much. I just saw that you pledged to my Patreon. Really, sir, thank you. It means a whole lot. I appreciate it. And Oisin Mulhal, you also pledged this past week to Patreon. And of course, Mr. Giovanni Menendez from A Week in Geekdom did as well. Thank you guys so much. Means a lot. Got to give you guys credit where credit is due. And yeah, I really do appreciate it. Needed a break from homework. Well, what are you studying? What are you studying right now? How's the Valiant Readathon? Man, the Valiant Readathon has been really good. I've been really enjoying that a lot. Valiant has been interesting. It's interesting always when you're trying to jump in headfirst into a new universe because you can go a few different ways about it. You know? You can just jump in and hope for the best, or you can pretty much just start with a certain timeline. Now I'm using a Reddit timeline online that I found from the Comic Book The Omnibus Collectors Facebook group, and that's really been my guide. Like I'm starting with Harbinger, then I'm going back and I'm reading Exo Manowar, then Bloodshot, then Harbinger Wars, kind of going that route. I'm making my way through the entire Valiant universe, and so far there hasn't been any duds. Last week I was supposed to have the Bloodshot review out for the Weekly Valiant, but I wasn't able to do it, but that'll be out this week. Bloodshot, like I've said numerous times, not as strong as Harbinger. Not as strong. Not terrible, but definitely not as strong. So it wasn't like a complete different disappointment. Do you think the last two Captain America omnibuses will go out of print? Oh, haven't those been reprinted a few times already? There are certain Captain America omnibuses that I'm absolutely certain they have been reprinted time and time again. I'm like 90% certain that there's like 2 or 3 of them that they've gotten reprints. And I'm not sure if that's the case. Noah, I saw that. I think you ended up tweeting me that you got the Absolute Preacher. Dude, congratulations, sir. Congratulations. Absolute Preacher is absolutely, wow, see what I did there? It's gorgeous. It's stunning. It is hands down probably the best looking book that I own. I adore that book. I'm frothing at the mouth just thinking about it. I absolutely love that book. Dylan, have you read any Martian Manhunter? I have not. However, there is a Martian Manhunter miniseries that came out just before the whole DC Rebirth thing started happening. That was really good, at least from what I've heard. I've heard that was really good. It was part of that DCU line, but I've heard everybody that's read it has said, wow, this was actually a genuinely really good read. Not amazing or anything like that, but it's solid. Like, it's really solid writing, really solid art, and if you've ever been interested in the character, it's a really great place to jumping on. Hey, Dan. Ooh, okay, lots of questions. Sorry. Yeah, but I'm hoping to make it out to Baltimore Comic Con this year. There's a few cons that I want to make it out to. Baltimore, San Diego. I've just given up on getting to San Diego for like the rest of my life until like I reach Jeremy John's status or something like that on the internet. I'm not gonna ever make it to San Diego, which is kind of disappointing. But Baltimore, I want to go to. New York Comic Con, I have plans to go to. It's just a thing with the money. But with the whole Patreon thing, I could actually write off all that stuff with my taxes as like traveling expenses and things like that that you guys don't want to hear about. But I might be able to do it this year. We'll see what happens. And I'm going to try for press passes. Did you ever watch did you ever end up watching the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer? I don't remember you talking about it. I didn't. I didn't. That was part of this year. I'm kind of looking at everything I do channel-wise, and like trailer reactions. Yeah, that gets a lot of hits, but this is strictly a comic review channel. Like this is for that niche market that is into hardcovers and collections. And for a while there, I kind of felt like I was starting to drift off a little bit, and I was starting to lose a little bit of focus. When I was doing, like a few years ago, I did Twitch streaming and video games, and during the summer I experimented a little bit with my opinions on like pictures and images that are posted up on. Basically, I was shooting to be like another comic book cast or something stupid like that, where they talk about every single bit of news that comes out. And really, that's not what this is. That's not who I am. That's not what I'm good at. This is what I'm good at. I'm good at interacting with you guys, and I'm good at talking about hardcovers, trade paperbacks, omnibuses, things like that. That is what I'm good at. That is my market. And I'm shifting my focus more towards that in the following year. Yes, it's a niche market. However, I've also been looking at other highly successful, and this is all me spitballing to you guys. This is kind of us talking. I'm looking at other highly successful YouTubers. Again, I'm looking at Comics Explained, Comic Pop, those channels, Comic Book Cast. And what I've noticed is, and this is nothing against them, I think I personally have the most diehard fans. Now that's everybody fucking says that. Like everybody says, oh, I've got the most diehard fans. Da 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 da. I genuinely feel I have the most diehard fans, where you guys show up week in and week out. It might not be the biggest number of fans, but I think I have the most diehard fans, and it shows. It shows that you guys like what I do, you like what I'm doing, and it shows through the Patreon, because I have actually a higher Patreon number than some guys that have like 20. Oh, there we go. It shows like in the sense where you guys believe in what I'm doing and you show up on a weekly basis. So yeah, but I kind of just started rambling. Otaku is fun. I want to go. There are so many cons I want to go to. War of Kings Omnibus is out of print. Do you think this will cause the other omnibuses to go out of print as quick or quicker? It's certainly possible. I firmly believe that it certainly is 100% possible that those omnibuses will most definitely go out of print quicker. We know for certain that we know for certain one of the next two omnibuses has an extremely low print run, like ridiculously low print. So if you are one of those people that's like on the fence, maybe I shouldn't get the next two omnibuses or one of them. I'm not exactly sure which one it is. I think it's the very last one that's coming out. But somebody's looked up the numbers and said, yeah, these are really low print. Just finished all Ennis's Punisher Max. Man, what a run. The next writer is any good following him. Jason Aaron's run, I've heard, is the best run as a spiritual sequel to that. For Jason Aaron's Punisher Max is incredible. It's not as good as Ennis, but he really does wrap up that whole Punisher Max storyline with a bow tie on it, and it's really good. Can you do more videos on how to start reading certain characters / teams? Yeah, I've got one planned out for Superman. I want to do one for Superman, and I'm hoping they get that out this week. Any suggestions for something wanting to start Marvel? The only thing I've read is Miss Marvel, and it's fantastic. Oh, that's awesome. Mark Waid's Daredevil. great place to start. What else? Let me think. If you want to get super, no, Hickman's FF might be a bit too much if you're just starting out. Oh, that's a good question. Track down the Dan Slott Spider-Man stuff, which is actually really good. I highly recommend who's somebody who's trying to get into Spider-Man, you pick up Dan Slott stuff, or even J. Michael Straczynski's Spider-Man run is really good as well. If you're looking for just like a one-off Spider-Man story, Kraven's Last Hunt is good. If you're looking for a great place for Spider-Man, I always tell people start with Ultimate Spider-Man. That's great. If you're looking for X-Men, start with Grant Morrison's New X-Men. Then Joss Whedon's run on X-Men is really good as well. So go in that order. You should be fine. And of course, there's always X-Force, Uncanny X-Force by Rick Remender. Are the Batman Nightfall straight paperbacks worth buying? I am not the biggest fan of Nightfall. Just telling you right now, that's not my thing. I'm just not that guy who's into like the extreme 90s art, the extreme huge muscle. It's really not my bag. So I'm going to say no. I read the Nightfall stuff up until they break his back, and afterwards I just kind of fell off. I was like, yeah, this doesn't interest me anymore. Well, thanks, John. Yeah, I love interacting with you guys and sending you messages. For some of you out there, some of you in the chat, you guys are a part of the Omnibus group, and you guys actually have my public or private Facebook account. That's where I like post my personal stuff. And some of you guys, you message me through there, and I'm just like, oh yeah, no problem. I don't mind it. I read Why the Last Man last night. Awesome series. Hey, congratulations, man. I'm just making my way through the chat. Have you seen, the Watchmen Noir hardcover, black and white reprint? I have not. John Wilson, I love your Daredevil how to read video. I ended up getting Bendis' Brubaker and Wade's run as a result. Good stuff, man. I hope you're reading it in the order that I'm telling you, where you read Bendis, Brubaker, then Wade. Especially the Bendis and Brubaker stuff. You could jump into Wade and you'll be perfectly fine, but the Bendis and Brubaker stuff, it's so intertwined. Like, literally, it starts months. Brubaker's run starts, like, months, or like a month after the events of what happened with Bendis. And it's, so good. So good. Where can I get dust cover protect? You know what? That's a good question, Gabe. Can you guys hear me? Or see me? No? Okay. Gabe, if you're in the chat, jump in. There we go. Jeez. This is like a weekly thing now. I apologize, guys. Really, I do. This is a Google thing. So what's the deal with Hellboy and Hell? I haven't gotten to it yet, and you didn't cover it in the Hellboy verse reading. Yes, I did. I mean, I mentioned it, but I didn't cover it in great detail. Basically, Hellboy, spoilers for like a 5-year-old event. Basically, Hellboy ends up dying, and he ends up going to hell. And it follows him throughout hell. It's a really good series. You're here, fool? All right, I'll message you on, let's send you a chats. I'll send you a link, okay, Gabe? See if you can join me. And we can take some questions. Go on in, man. I'm inviting you. Jump in. Have fun. Favorite Punisher material? I've gone on record as saying Punisher Max is, without a shadow of a doubt, my favorite Punisher material. I love Punisher Max. I adore Punisher Max. You just bought Southern Bastards as a blind buy, Avi G. My friend, Avi G, you could not have made a more intelligent blind buy. Southern Bastards is awesome. Southern Bastards is so good. Like the way Negan says it, it's awesome. I love Southern Bastards. It's one of the best image series right now. It doesn't always come out on time because Jason Aaron and Jason Latour, they have so many different projects going on, but goodness, Southern Bastards is an incredible read. It's really good. And if you've never read it, the ending here. All right, dude. Here's what I want you to do. Avi G, read it. Read the trade. Get through the trade, and then tell me what you think about it. Tell me what you think about how that ending is in that first trade, and come back to me. Shoot me a message. I'll respond back. Dun, dun, dun. Which Preacher cover is my favorite? Mine is issue 3. Oh, that's a good one. The one where Cassidy's covered in blood. I don't know. Right off the top of my head, I can't remember. I'd have to look back through it. There were so many iconic covers. Have you read any Moon Knight? I'm interested in getting into the character and want to know where to start. Well, that's easy. If you want an entry level to Moon Knight, go ahead and pick up. Oh my God, Brian. No, not Brian. Oh my gosh, Warren Ellis. Warren Ellis had a short, like 4 or 5 issue run on Moon Knight that was incredible. Like it was really freaking good. It was a really good read. And I'm waiting here to see Gabe jump in. Punisher Max, the Slavers. Oh my God, the Slavers. Fucking hell, the Slavers was hard to read, Sean. God, Slavers is brutal. Have I bought any DC Rebirth trades by Harold Lauder? No, I have not, in fact, bought any DC Rebirth trades as of this moment. I want to. I definitely want to, but I'm holding off because we know we're getting certain hardcovers a few months down the line. So once that happens, I'm going to end up picking those up instead. If you were in charge of it, how would you handle the Green Lantern Corps movie? I'd make it like Lethal Weapon. You make it a buddy comedy or a buddy cop a movie. You have, Jon Stewart, Hal Jordan. You do it that way. That is, to me, one of the best ways to do it. Yeah, the ending of Southern Bastards Trade Paper Act 1 is awesome, but God, it rips your heart out. Like, it rips your heart out, stomps on it, and pees on it. What DC characters do you recommend to start reading to someone new to DC? Well, there's the obvious, your Batman, your Superman. If you're just starting with Superman, I'm going to have a video on that. The plan is sometime this week, but All-Star Superman, Superman Birthright. You know what? I'll even throw in Max Landis' Superman book, Superman American Alien. Those are all great places to start with the character. The link is not working? I got you. That is weird. Let's see if we can try it one more time. Try that one. That one should work. Really? To be honest, I thought Harbinger was great and Bloodshot is good, but I thought Harbinger Wars was just meh. Wow, I haven't read Harbinger Wars yet, but oh man, I've heard it's really good. Yeah, All-Star Superman is goddamn perfect. It's with my opinion, it's without a shadow of a doubt one of the most perfect Superman story, one of the most perfect stories ever told. It's moving. It's incredible. Like if you have not read All-Star Superman, dude, guys, Go out there and read All-Star Superman. Slavers was good. Slavers was incredible. It was a real hit. Mother Russia was great too. Mother Russia was really good. If you want more of that kind of content, I recommend you pick up Garth Ennis's Fury Max, where it shows Nick Fury in the Max universe, which is out of continuity. You don't need to know anything about him. And it's white Nick Fury. It's the original one. And it shows his fighting in like Vietnam, the Cuban Missile Crisis, Bay of Pigs, all that other stuff, and it's incredibly well done. It's ridiculous how well done that is. Have I read Superman Rebirth? I've read a little bit. All-Star Superman is the best story ever, Superman story ever told. I think so. I'm in total agreement with you. Do you still buy single issues or prefer waiting and buying the trades and omnibuses? I do. I buy single issues, but I buy them digitally. I don't buy them in any other format. I buy them digitally. It's just easier for me. And the thing is, I'll buy them digitally, and I get the Comixology notification for the email. It'll say, "Hey, you've got new comics," and I'm like, "All right, cool." And I don't get to them for like 2 months. Like I'm probably about 2-3 months behind on Saga right now. I need to catch up. That's a real big problem of mine. What is the best omnibus that you ever bought? By the way, I started collecting because of your reviews. Keep going. Thank you, Tiago. Thank you, man. It's that is greatly appreciated, sir. Thank you. It humbles me when I hear that stuff. Have I read Valiant's Shadow Man? I have the hardcover. And what is going on? I'm trying to get Gabe from Infinity Watch to do the live stream with me right now. However, it's not letting him join. So I'm going to try a different route. Let's see if I send him a direct link through the email. What is my favorite comic series of all time? Preacher. Preacher. Everybody knows that. Preacher would be. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can do it this way. Sent to your email. Because we're going to be working on the news show in a little bit, actually. My first Omni is arriving this week. UK prices are expensive. Trial of Captain America, very good one. Why is Preacher so controversial? Oh man, why is the sky blue? Okay, let's get into this real quick. The reason Preacher is so controversial. Preacher deals with a small town reverend named Jesse Custer. Jesse Custer starts out at the beginning of the story. He has pretty much abandoned his flock. He doesn't care about the people in his church. He thinks they are pretty much just assholes because every single week they go out, they go sinning, but they show up to church, and just because they do, they think that they're absolved from any problem, any situation that they have. So Jesse's pretty much tired of it. At the beginning of the story, he is hit with what is called the Word of God, which is pretty much the embodiment of an angel and a devil, an angel and a demon having sex. Now, because of this, he is possessed by this being, and he's able to speak things, and the person has to do it to a T. Because of this, Jesse goes around the world, and he tries to find God because he learns that God has abandoned his post. You can already start seeing where this would get controversial. Along the way, Jesse finds things out, such as the inbred son of Jesus, a whole bunch of other. It's just so over the top. It's absolutely nutty, and it's one of the best stories ever written. Yeah, literally everything about Preacher is controversial. Garth Ennis, being an atheist, does not give a damn in Preacher. He lays it all out. And it's one of my favorite series of all time.
Yeah, literally.
Hey, look who we got. Ladies and gentlemen,
What up?
all the way from Cali. And if you can lower me on the screen as well, that'd be great. This is weird. How is it weird? Do you see the chat?
I just see my icon.
Go to the Facebook page and you'll be able to see it.
The internet is hard.
The internet is very hard. You guys see Gabe? You guys should be able to see him. He's talking to me right now. Yeah, if you're somebody who gets easily offended by religion and taking the piss out of religion, then yeah, the Preacher is not for you.
All right. Is this working out for you, Luis?
Yeah. You guys see
I don't see
it?
the chat. You know what? I'm gonna use double technology today.
Double
With my
technology.
phone. Yeah, my phone and my laptop.
Da, 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 da. Hey, there's Gabe. He's showing up. Everybody can see you now. I'm
It
still
is
working on this. Yeah. Religious stuff just depresses you. Actually, I have the news show that I'm only going to be on for a few more minutes. I've got the news show that I'm going to be doing with Jess this week. Let me know when you're ready. All right, guys, keep shooting me questions. Why do you think DC is always behind Marvel in sales? They're not always behind Marvel in sales.
No, that's a new thing.
Yeah, that's definitely a new thing.
I know I have a friend named John Mayo who does a site called the Comic Book Page, and he is well known for being like the big number cruncher when
Yeah.
Diamond puts out numbers. And once of the year, it's Marvel. Until they do something crazy like New 52 or Rebirth, it's usually Marvel's on, they're the top song because they put out so much stuff.
Yeah, that's Marvel's definitely Marvel's an interesting animal in that sense because it's you're right. 10 out of 12 months, it's always Marvel. Marvel's always at the top, and for some reason, it's not allowing us to. I'm still messing around. Okay, that's how that works. Sorry, guys, you're actually getting me roughing around a little bit with this. What is the best Lobo comic? What do you think? You've read more Lobo than me. You're more of a DC guy than I am.
Best Lobo stuff was just a book that came out in early, late 80s era that Simon Beasley did. Just because of Simon Beasley himself, it's worth it for the art alone. Simon Beasley has a very sick and twisted painted style. So you get to see like all the veiny muscles Lobo has. When he rips somebody's head off, it's all super pretty. So it's like one of those pretty disgusting looking kind of artwork. Honestly, the New 52 Lobo stuff wasn't that bad if you could just get over the fact that they killed the real Lobo and replaced him with Twilight Lobo.
Oh, Twilight Lobo. Nobody likes Twilight Lobo.
Nobody likes Twilight Lobo.
God. You remember how terrible that was with Twilight Lobo? When that first came out, that was like a bomb went off in the industry. Everybody was like, what the fuck is this shit? You guys have kind of like turned Lobo into this scrawny little guy.
Right. Everybody was super upset about that. And I never knew people cared that much about Lobo. But once you changed them, everybody became a Lobo fan and wanted to complain about it.
How was that run?
It's Colin Bunn, so it's fun for the stuff that he's done, but it's hard to get involved in something when you're like, this isn't the real character that I care about. This isn't the one I'm looking forward to. So it's like, it's kind of like watching a Marvel or a DC movie. We're like, oh, it's a good movie, but it's not a good adaptation of Civil War
Right.
or Age of something or something like that.
I need to know if Planetary is worth the investment, bro. Please tell me, bro. Absolutely. Planetary is brilliant. And the omnibus, you can find the omnibus pretty readily cheap. I think the omnibus is only 35 bucks. It's considered to be by a lot of comic book fans. Warren Ellis is like magnum opus. I would argue it's more so, I think, than Transmetropolitan and like a lot of his other stuff that he's done. I would say that Planetary is the thing that he will be probably remembered synonymously for more than almost anything else.
Yeah, no, the Planetary Omnibus is the best thing to pick up right now. They have absolutes out, but they're super out of print and like 200 bucks a pop kind of thing. But if anybody's out there going to pick up the Planetary Omnibus, check the back cover. You want the one that was printed in Canada. I believe that's like the second or third print of it. And that's the one with the sewn binding. Everything else has glue binding, and we all kind of know what happens with glue binding sometimes.
Yeah, glue binding tends to fall apart, and it's a giant mess when it does. It never holds up in the long run.
Right. So definitely look for the one that says Canada or printed in Canada on the back.
Yeah. Like he said, if you were somebody that's looking at getting the Planetary Omnibus, there's two versions. There's the one with the terrible binding, and there's the one with the solid binding. You want the one that says Canada on the back of it if you're hunting down. If you order one from Amazon, you might get lucky. You're really just rolling the dice. Some people have said, yeah, I've gotten lucky and I've gotten some through third-party sellers, or I got one directly from Amazon and it was printed in Canada. Some people don't get it.
And more about Planetary, one of the best things about that book is you get to see John Cassidy at his like early stages of his art career. And it's pretty rough. But since that book was what was the issues, like 27 issues Planetary was? It took them about 8 years to put that entire 27 issue run out, and in that 8 years, you get to see John Cassidy become who John Cassidy is known for.
You mean,
And then you see what he looks like today. But just stick to the Planetary stuff in the Assange next one. You'll see great Cassidy art.
you mean John Cassidy without any necks? Because apparently John Cassidy doesn't see any necks when he draws anymore.
And he only sees one face.
Oh, Cassidy. You are so talented, but at the same time so useless. Poor guy.
I met him in the bathroom at San Diego Comic-Con.
You met him in the bathroom at San Diego?
Yeah, he was in the urinal next to me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Rick Remender had a Lobo run?
Nice, really?
I don't know he had it must have been a really limited Lobo run. I didn't know Rick Remender had one.
It could have been because Lobo was originally they had like Lobo was kind of like Hellboy is now, where it's all miniseries. It's all like 3, 4, 5, 6 issues, and they start over with a new series. So the chances are solid that you might have had one in that time frame.
Well, everybody's got to cut their teeth somewhere.
Right. I wonder if he drew it, because Rick Remender used to be an artist.
That's possible, actually. Yeah, Rick Remender was an artist before he came on the scene.
He did the art in Avengers that Jeff Johns wrote, I believe.
Did he? I heard that was a terrible run.
Yeah, well. John's 100%. When he cuts, he bleeds DC. So that's where his love is. So that's why his DC stuff's a little bit better.
What are some of your favorite books from Vertigo? Well, that's an easy question for me. Preacher being my favorite book of all time. Then you got Sandman, is incredible. What else? Fables is good. Fables is real good.
Alan Moore's Swamp Thing was Vertigo.
Oh, Alan Moore Swamp. Yeah. Alan Moore Swamp Thing, for those of you that don't know, is pretty much the reason why we have Vertigo, because the editor at DC at the time went, oh my god, you've got Swamp Thing, you've got a lady fucking a plant. Yeah, we're just going to invent a whole new line of books for you, Alan Moore. We'll just call it Vertigo, because everything is crazy right now.
Yeah, Vertigo was great when it first started out in the 80s and the 90s, because it was basically the imprint that the DC executives would ignore, so everybody got to do what they wanted to do. And that's how you got things like Preacher and Swamp Thing and Fables and Sweet Tooth. It's kind of a newer one, but Sweet Tooth through Vertigo, and that's a great series by Jeff Lemire.
Yeah, I would say Sweet Tooth is one of those that will probably go down as one of the more modern day classics. I mean, yeah, the ending I always thought was a bit rushed, but it's still incredibly well done.
I was looking at my shelves behind me, looking at Vertigo stuff, and I feel like an idiot because one of my all-time favorite books is Vertigo, Transmetropolitan and Scalped.
Ooh, shit! I didn't use Scalped. Damn, I should have said Scalped.
Yeah, that's heavy hitter stuff right there. Scalped, Transmet, that's heavy hitters. I mean, those are like the top books of anything that's came out in the last 10 years. Scalped for sure.
Hold on one sec. I think I might be able to get Jess on the show right now.
Nice.
Hold on, let me message him.
I've never met Jess.
Oh, you haven't? That's
No.
right. That's right. Because last week for those of you that for those of you that don't know, last week Gabe filled in for Jess and we had Gio on the news show. So it was Gabe, Gio, and me doing the news show, which is a Patreon thing, and we did really well. And still has not met Jess. Let me see if I can get Jess jumping in here.
How do you say brothers in Spanish?
Hermanos.
So we were the Omnibus Humanos last week.
Let me see if I can get him in. I'm gonna send him the link. This
Cool.
is without a doubt one of the sweetest guys I've ever met.
Nicholas in the chat room is bringing up V for Vendetta. That's a great pull on that one.
Shit, you know what? Yeah. V for Vendetta is amazing. It's incredible.
Looking at my shelves, I'm reading 100 Bullets right now. I'm on like the fourth hardcover for that. That's Vertigo. I know, Luis, you're not the biggest fan of it, but that's a masterpiece in my book.
I just couldn't get through it. There is a one-shot issue that I thought was fucking brilliant, and that was the Marilyn Monroe one.
Oh, that's issue 27. Yeah, the one about Marilyn Monroe and the assassination of Kennedy.
Yeah. And the thing is, it kind of spoiling it, but you're reading it and you have no clue what the fuck is going on until you reach those final last few pages and you go, oh shit, and Brian Azzarello really pulls the rug underneath you and you go, this whole thing was about the assassination of JFK and Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, they never straight out say it, but they make you kind of connect the dots on your own, and you're like, holy crap, like that could have been true. Who knows?
Yeah. John Wilson's asking, what time is the news show? John, we don't do a live chat for the news show. The news show is kind of a private thing where me, Jess, and I guess Gabe might be a part of it now that he's here.
Yes.
That we do a weekly news show. For those of you that don't know, the Patreon stuff, it's Patreon exclusive, and it's not a live chat. I take it, we record it, I take it, and then I post it up later. So, but it should go up later tonight.
It's part of your $5 donation on Patreon, right?
Yeah, it's at the $5 level, and if you are a $1 level, you get that show once a month.
So for $5, you get a really cool news show with Luis, Jess, and possibly myself talking about the current news. And it's not just comic news; it's video game news, movie news, but comic book related movie news, stuff like that. So.
Yeah. And I saw Eric Stover was like, oh man, I didn't want to watch it because I thought you guys were going to talk about politics and what's going on in the news. And I'm like, no. That is not what this show is about. This channel is not about politics. It's not about me pushing some agenda. There's plenty of other podcasts with comic book related stuff, talking comics, that they talk about a bunch of politics and social justice warrior crap. That's not what this show is about.
Yeah. There's plenty of stuff online that you can find anywhere. I know Luis is very strict when the election happened, was no talking politics or you're getting banned from life.
Oh, I was completely strict. Yeah, I banned actually 2 people that day. Jess!
What's happening, dudes?
Jess!
Is that Gabe?
Yeah.
That's me, man. How's it going, bud?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, I finally get to meet you.
Yeah, it's great meeting you.
Through the internet.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing? How are you doing, Jess?
Good. Really good.
You just got back from a vacation, right?
Yep, from a romantic getaway with my lovely bride.
No, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the silver fox is in the house.
Yes, I am.
Super fat gorilla.
Hey, take it easy, pal.
That's a compliment.
Now, how do I access? You have questions and answers?
Yeah, it's the same thing as here, I'll send you a direct link. It's the same thing as when we do the Q&A on a regular basis. I just sent you a link.
DJ NL, the best in the chats, is blowing it up with really great vertical titles. He's talking about Scalped, Hellblazer, 100 Bullets. He's throwing up good stuff in there.
Let's see.
Onomatopoeia, yeah, that Doom statue is fantastic, dude. That's one of my favorite statues I have.
Just what about that Captain Marvel statue you got going on back there? That thing is nice.
There she is. Wait a sec. Now I'm looking at the. I'm mixed up.
Now, Jess, quick question.
There.
Has the Red Sonja statue showed up yet?
I wasn't here to sign for it.
Oh,
So it's coming tomorrow. And I have to be here to sign for it.
oh man.
So it came, but I wasn't here to receive it. I don't even know what I'm going to do with it. I don't have room for it. It was a super impulse purchase, and now I really am sort of regretting it. I don't even know how I'm going to hide the box, quite frankly, because this box is going to be gigunda.
Are you gonna keep?
Here's what you do, Jess. You've seen Shawshank Redemption, right?
Yeah.
And then one piece at a time, like, one piece a week at a time.
I always thought you were going to suggest I escape by crawling through the sewers.
Oh my God, that's great.
Go ahead, baby.
Hey, Gio's in the chat. Hey, Gio. I'm here. Great Q&A. Evening, gents. Hey, Gio.
What up, Gio?
Which Frank Miller Sin City trade paperback would you recommend? Anybody want to help him out? I still have not made my way through all the trades of Sin City.
A Dame to Kill For is what the first movie was based off of, so that's always a good pull. Yellow Bastard was a part of the first movie. Dang, I can't think of what else.
What about you, Jess?
I have the giant Sin City, the big damn Sin City omnibus.
I always think that the first one is the best one. What was the first one's name? A Dame to Kill For, or?
Yeah, there's another one out there. Booze, Broads, and Bullets. It's called, and it's just a bunch of like anthology stories, more or less. It's just like a vignette. There's like 8-10 pages of stories for each little storyline they got going on. So that one's really cool to pick up too.
That sounds like around prom night. Booze, broads, and bullets.
Where'd you go to prom?
It's a very rough neighborhood.
I guess so.
It's a very, very rough neighborhood. Are all the trade paperbacks in Sin City connected?
They're it's just, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie. It's exactly how the movie is. There's characters. It's its own world. Sin City is its own little small world, and they do connect, but you don't have to read them in order or anything like that. Really,
That's what I've heard. It's kind of like the movie where they intertwine like every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's like a Pulp Fiction, where all the stories eventually do tie in together, and characters from one storyline show up in another storyline, but it really doesn't matter which way you read it.
Or like the Quentin Tarantino universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. Have you guys checked out A Series of Unfortunate Events on Netflix? I started watching and I fell asleep. Do any of you three gentlemen know if there's going to be a hardcover edition of Vision or Grayson? What about you? Do you know anything, Jess?
Boy, I don't know. That's strictly a guess on my part. I would say definite yes for Vision.
It's got to happen.
Yeah, I'm almost positive because it sold so well. But Grayson didn't even get hardcovers for 2, 3, or 4, which was really disappointing. So I don't know how well it sold for them to not even issue it in hardcover. Although, I don't know. So I'm going to say no, it probably won't come out in hardcover.
Vision has to get one.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe it if Vision doesn't.
Yeah, it's with.
Yeah, Grayson was another Tom King book, and I'm surprised, like you said, that it's not in hardcover yet or anything. Yeah. But DC's not, they're not very hardcover focused, it seems like, unlike Marvel, who puts out every single thing in a hardcover.
I think that's changing, though. I mean, recently, DC solicited that where they're getting new hardcovers for Superman in May, for Superman Rebirth, for a lot of Rebirth titles.
Rebirth, yeah, for a lot of Rebirth. That's great.
Yeah.
So they're paying attention, I think, to the market, and they're starting to see, oh crap, there's like a niche market out there that's what they collect. They wait out for the hardcovers, for the omnibuses, for those special editions because they love that stuff, and I think they're starting to take notice of it. Or maybe I'm just hopefully wishing.
No, I think that was well said.
If they put out a Grayson hardcover, I'll buy it. That's a fact.
I thought Grayson was great.
When does the 5th library edition of Goon come out? Sometime this year. I think in May.
Let me Google that for you.
When does the second trade of
I would
Sheriff of
guess-
Babylon come out? In 2 weeks.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, I was paying attention. It comes out like in 1 or 2 weeks.
I hope that one has a Satan Sodomy Baby reprinted in it.
The greatest comic ever.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe the second trade for Sheriff of Babylon comes out on that week that everything comes out, where you get the Absolute Wonder Woman, the Realm of Kings omnibus, and like the Daredevil omnibus. There's like a whole bunch of shit that comes out that day.
And when is this? In February?
2 weeks.
In
At the
2
end of
weeks?
The first end of July or January. Yeah.
Boy. That sounds like a big week.
I'm glad I already have that War of Kings pre-ordered.
I'm going to have to make some cuts. I'm going to take the War of Kings. I'm going to have to pass on that Daredevil Stan Lee one simply because it's old Stan Lee stuff. And, you take it or leave it. Some of that stuff isn't that great. Yeah, it's classic, but doesn't mean it's all great.
No.
Interesting story, though, about that Daredevil.
Mhm.
Issue number 1 was almost completely canceled and redrawn by Jack Kirby.
Really?
Because the artist, Bill Everett, was a raging alcoholic, I guess you can say, and wasn't able to get his pages in.
And I'm probably going to end up picking up the Absolute Wonder Woman, but that's not for certain.
Oh, I want that so bad. I have the regular DC hardcovers for Wonder Woman. I haven't read them yet, but
me
I
too.
want Cliff Chang. I want Cliff Chang in big pages.
Oh, that art is gorgeous.
I've read that storyline, and the story is great. It's such a different Wonder Woman, and she's super badass. I really like it.
And Cliff Chang's art. Oh.
Yeah, it is gorgeous.
Well, I like it because Brian Azzarello changes the origin a little bit of Wonder Woman in that too.
Yeah.
A couple times.
Yeah.
One, I think he makes her like, I don't know what the word is, bi-curious. She likes chicks. And the whole thing about who her dad is and how she was really created.
Yeah, that was a very original twist.
I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that. And Greg Rucka then went and retconned it.
Okay, for Rebirth?
Yeah, he's retconned it since then.
Oh.
That's too bad.
I'm not a fan of Greg Rucka's Wonder Woman run so far. Not that crazy about it.
Something Greg Rucka wrote? You're not
I know.
What happened?
I don't think it's as strong as some of the other stuff he's working on right now.
Huh. Maybe if she was involved in a crime novel, he could do it.
Yeah, maybe. He's a solid writer.
Yeah, he wrote great Batman.
Yeah. Favorite Ed Brubaker books, Jess?
Yeah, that is hard. We got Criminal, we got
Fatale.
Incognito, Fatale.
Fade
I
Out.
am still impressed with the Fade Out. I gave that to my sister for Christmas, and she loved it. And she doesn't read graphic novels at all, so she loved it. I love it, and it's a subject I know a lot about. So I'm going to say the Fade Out is my favorite.
Gabe, what do you think? What was I going to say? Crap. Have you read the Fade Out? That's what I was going to ask you.
No, I haven't read the Fade Out, but I just reached over because I have to sit next to my desk. I do have the tabloid Fade Out comic they put out.
Ooh.
It's issue number 1, but they put it out in the tabloid style book instead of it being a comic. It's a tabloid size.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
You can't find a bag and board for it because you have to find like a big magazine size one.
Yeah.
But it's the issue number 1. I haven't read it. I kind of skimmed through it. It has like script pages in the back of it. It has Sean Phillip, who's an amazing artist, kind of his process, how he does his work and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like seeing that stuff.
That's cool.
Favorite Rick Remender book?
Uncanny X-Force.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, dude, I was staring at my shelf right now.
Jess?
Where was that? Yeah, I agree with Uncanny X-Force. Where is that question?
I didn't even see that.
That's a question?
What was the question?
I think you
Moving.
invented a question.
Yeah, I think you just pulled a question out of nowhere, dude.
Yeah, with the Rick Remender question.
I'm not seeing it. Greg Rucka's Lazarus is good. Yeah, it is. Like Cliff Chang on Paper Girls, I still need to read Paper Girls.
Oh my gosh, Paper Girls is so good.
Yeah, I know you wax on about it a lot. Like you say
Yeah.
it's really good.
Really like it a lot. It is truly next level stuff.
I bought the first issue. I'm gonna wait for a hardcover of it to come out.
Yeah,
That's another one of those where I think it's a given that we're gonna get a hardcover of that.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
and again, Cliff Chang art is gonna look amazing in like some absolute size hardcover book.
And
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of surprised not as many people are talking about Paper Girls as there are Saga. Like that book is kind of flying under people's radar.
I think people like it a lot on the Omni group, but maybe I don't know how it's selling in general. It certainly is a strong story with great art. I mean, you can't ask for more.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna review this week Outcast. I know you weren't crazy about it, Jess.
Oh, I'd be interested in your opinion.
You know what? I side with you almost 100% in everything you said.
Oh, really?
I totally do. I was reading it and I thought it was really good. It was really good. I had read a few issues before and I was like, wow, this is really solid. I really want to see where it takes it. But he really doesn't take it anywhere new. Like, it's the same tropes you've seen. If you have seen any Exorcist movie, any possession movie in the past 20 years, it's the same tropes. And he doesn't really do anything new with it. You've got the priest who's kind of lost his faith. You got the guy that doesn't want to do it. You know, it's...
Yeah. And then they introduce somebody sinister, and he's, I don't know, introducing somebody sinister. So what? That's not an interesting. It's some evil conspiracy. He's Satan personified or something. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me.
Jess has to do a man cave tour for Patreon.
Hey, I'm not getting paid by Patreon.
Not yet. Not yet. If we
get a salary,
guys, if we reach the $500 mark, Jess Bragg gets a check in the mail.
Right on, man.
No, in all honesty, I do. It's not going to be for a while, but I do want to get to a point where, if I'm making enough money through Patreon, I do want to pay you guys because most of you guys don't. No. Most
I
of you
wouldn't
guys
accept any money. This is for fun. I love doing this.
Nobody in the chat knows, but you guys are not getting paid to do this. I'm the only one that's making anything out of this. You guys are just devoting your free time, and that's very much appreciated. I want to get to a certain point where
love you. Mwah.
I want to get to a certain point where I can pay you for helping me out.
I accept only comic books as pay.
Okay, all right.
No money.
Grayson's great. The ending was rushed. I didn't finish reading Grayson.
I haven't. I just got book 4 in the mail, so I don't know.
In that 30-pound box you got the other day?
40-pound box. No, it was all Valiant and Irredeemable 3.
Be honest, how much does your mailman hate you?
Didn't say it. She's a tiny little girl. She didn't say anything to me. That box was heavy. A 40-pounder. I mean, they even stamped heavy on it from IST. It was awkward.
Do they have like a Jess stamp where it's like
to Omni Dog?
God, this guy again. I bet she just looks at that address and goes, God, no, not today.
Not another 5 packages I have to deliver to this guy.
I went to Pulp Fiction down in Long Beach, California, and that's where.
Is that CGN's place?
Yeah, that's CGN's place, and they got a brick and mortar store, but it's all like hardcover, trade paperbacks, omnibus, things like that. And that's where I got my Kurt Busiek, George Perez Avengers omnibus from. So I put it on the table. The guy rings it up, tells me the total. I hand him my debit card. He looks at it and he goes, "I know who you are. You buy a lot of stuff online from us."
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but he recognized my name.
I don't know if that's sad or not, man.
I wonder if they'd recognize any of our names at IST if we had called them up and said, "Hey,
they must.
You recognize the name Riley Moore, Louise, Jess, any of us?"
They must know it. At the very least, they have to know who Riley is because he's gotten in contact with them about getting sponsors.
Yeah, that's true.
And they still shut us down every single time. One day.
We may have to fish in different waters.
Yeah, Pennzoil.
I wonder what it takes for IST to sponsor a show.
You gotta have I would imagine you have to have a really solid following, like a huge following.
Like 100,000 or something.
I don't know.
Word Balloon is sponsored by In Stock Trades.
Word Balloon and
that's one of the biggest things out there, though.
Yeah, but John Suntress, the guy who does the Word Balloon, he's been doing that for like 15 years.
Yeah.
So he's building an audience like you are right now.
Yeah, he's been doing that for a long time. But also, 11 O'Clock Comics are sponsored by DCBS. So they've got their sponsors out there.
You'll be getting so big that DC or Marvel will be advertising on you.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Alan Moore's top 10?
It's freaking awesome. I love it. It's one of my favorite Alan Moore books.
Never read it.
Oh, you never read it? Oh, it's really, 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 really good.
It's a great book, and it's not a hard read like a lot of Alan Moore stuff can be.
Right.
It's a solid, easy read with new characters. And that whole ABC line that he put out through DC was great because you got like Tom Strong and Top 10.
Promethea.
Yeah, Promethea. Yeah, all that stuff was great. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was understandable. I love Tom Strong and some of the concepts in there. I love that whole book. I love Tom Strong.
Top 10 has a great absolute too. It's a beautiful, beautiful book.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the Q&A right now, guys. We're gonna be going. We got to do the news show coming up next. For those of you that are on Patreon, the news show will be posted up later tonight, probably like around 9ish. We are gonna actually finish this and we're gonna jump right into it. That is a Patreon exclusive thing, $5. You can find that in the chat. These guys are gonna be doing it with me. If you're enjoying this, check that out. As always, Jess, where can they find you?
On the Omnibus Collectors. The Omnibus Collectors Comic Book Swap and Community Facebook group. Is that the name of it?
I think that was it.
I might have gotten it right. Let's see. Oh, wait, I've got it open right here. The Omnibus Collectors Comic Swap and Community.
There you go.
I am there on Facebook all the time.
Yeah, he's also a mod there, so yeah. Chances are he will be one of the few people that will approve you to get in.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah.
Or ban your ass if you get out of line.
Just as fair, but he wields the ban hammer very mightily. Just like I do.
That's right.
God, that okay, not to get too far because we are ending this, but that inauguration night where I just like no politics, because I did a live stream right after. I was like, no politics, I don't want to talk about it. Somebody started posting about Trump winning and all this, and I was like, all right. I banned like 3 people that night.
Ban.
Gabe, where can they find you?
You can find me also on the Omnibus Collectors Comic Swap and Community. You can find me on YouTube here at Gabe Infinity Watch and Instagram at Gabe Infinity Watch as well. Post pictures, talk about comics, all that kind of good stuff. So hit me up. We'll talk comics.
And as always, guys, he is not here right now, but he is in the chat. Please give a good shout out and show some love to my buddy Gio from A Week in Geekdom. He helped us out last week. He's helped us out a few times on this YouTube channel. He's helped us out quite a number of times, actually. Check out his stuff from A Week in Geekdom. He does a lot of great stuff. Great guy. Please show him some love. He just cracked over 500 subs, and he's well on his way to 1,000. So
nice.
Please, guys, if you like my channel, show him some love. He's definitely got a good setup. It's kind of like when I first started. Please, I want better production value. Much better.
He's good with editing.
Oh, yeah. So like I said, facebook.com/hardcorereviews, twitter.com/hardcorereviews, and patreon.com/hardcorereview. For as little as $1 a month, you get some cool videos. Love you guys. Bye.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Deuces.
Peace out.